Hello, my name's David Seaman, and this is the Three Lions Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Three Lions Podcast. My name is Russell Osborne and this is an independent England football supporters podcast. I hope I find you well. We are a few days after the Andorra and Senegal matches. The review pod for that is going to come your way very soon. Just need to find the time to do that. As will be the Lionesses Euro 2025 preview. But at the moment, we are concentrating on next year's 2026 World Cup.
So we have a winner for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The member associations of Canada, Mexico and USA have been selected by the FIFA Congress to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Thank you.
This is the second episode of this three-part mini-series. Now, it's designed to coincide with the tournament beginning this time next year. Now, the first episode on Mexico with Alberto was yesterday. You can find that at your podcast provider of choice or threelionspodcast.com. Now, this episode is Canada. Canada is a country that has never hosted a senior men's World Cup before, but back in 2015, they did host the women's version. That was one where our Lionesses came third. But as a nation, they have hosted both the Summer and Winter Olympics, and there's not many countries that can say that. They've also had the Commonwealth Games too. Now, Canada is a nation that our senior men have only ever played once. It was back in 1986. It was a friendly as part of a warm-up tour ahead of Mexico 1986, the World Cup then. This particular game was played in Burnaby, which is a neighbouring city of Vancouver, at a stadium called Swangard Stadium. Which I've had a look on Google Maps, it's still there, and I imagine that for those nations that will end up playing in Vancouver, they may well use Swangard Stadium as a training ground. But back to that match, England won it 1-0 thanks to a Mark Hateley second half goal. Let's go to Canada, a country that I've had the pleasure of visiting. I think it was about 5 years ago. Obviously, it's so big that you only get a chance to scratch the surface for a couple of weeks on a summer holiday. I took the well-trodden path between Toronto, the capital Ottawa, and Montreal. But as a country, after Mexico, Canada, they take match 3 on day 2 of the World Cup. That'll be Canada's opening game against whoever they are drawn with. Now, here to talk a little bit more about the country, from the 90-Minute Life podcast, Paul and Josh, based in Calgary, Alberta. Hello, guys. You all right?
Hello. We're good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome aboard. Welcome along to the Three Lions podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, this is great. Thank you. Yeah,
it's my pleasure. You're in Canada. You're in Calgary area. For those that maybe don't know, go on, just tell us whereabouts is Calgary.
We're on the western side of the country. So furthest to the west, you have British Columbia. Move over one, and you have Alberta.
Yeah, and that's where we are.
In terms of World Cup for host cities, Vancouver is the closest host city, and that's a 12-hour drive away.
Yeah.
Wow. So Vancouver is west, Toronto is east.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. To get to Vancouver, if you're going to drive from Calgary, it's a nice drive. You get to go right through the Rocky Mountains.
Nice. So that's 12 hours. But if you're driving the other way, how far's that?
It's 3 days.
3 days.
3 days if you want to get to Toronto. Yeah.
Actually, so there's 2 ways to get to Toronto. You can, if you go through Canada, that's the longest way.
Yeah.
Because you have to go east and north. So you drive around, you literally drive around one of the Great Lakes.
Yes.
Yeah, really big.
You drive around Lake Superior. That's about a day just to do that.
Wow.
Or if you want to cut it roughly a day off, you have to go through the U.S. And it's faster to do that. So yeah, we're a little far away from the host cities.
Yeah, it's but Canada's big.
Well, yes, I know that just from the and you mentioned the Great Lakes. So we as a family we went traveling. As I say traveling. We saw those 3 cities and we went past the lakes. And at one point you're looking out onto the horizon, thinking, "Well, is this a lake or is this the ocean?" It's that vast.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. If they had, if they were on a coastline and if they were into, if there was a bay, they would be as big as like an inland sea. Like that's how big these lakes are. They're huge.
Wow.
Yeah. Very big.
Beautiful country from what I saw. Beautiful country. Well, I mean, you've basically answered one of the questions that many people will probably ask is how to get between the two. I mean, clearly the obvious way is to fly.
Yeah. You
do have to fly. And to be honest, that is the one, because we are so big.
Yeah.
We're not in Europe where we have we don't have any kind of really any good train system going through.
Yeah.
So your only viable option is to fly, and to fly within Canada, it's expensive. It's cheaper for us to fly to the States than it is to fly within Canada.
Yeah, you get a bit pricey.
Oh,
that's just again because we're so big. It's just fuel costs and all that stuff. So,
and then obviously next year when it comes around, prices will undoubtedly spike.
Oh,
I would imagine so. And from what actually we're gonna, I'll email you a couple links that you can maybe put in for your listeners.
Oh yeah,
we found some information for Toronto and Vancouver, like World Cup specific information. Like Vancouver, they have a whole website dedicated to the World Cup.
Okay,
and then maybe they throw in some information. I've heard some like places will do some travel packages, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye open for any sort of travel package, because we're hosting the world for a little bit. So I would imagine that they would do something, but I haven't. Nothing has been concrete yet that I've heard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that'd be great to pass on. One thing I will say, you've mentioned there. Look, you're welcoming the world to the biggest sports competition in the world, bar the Olympics, but you've only got 13 games, which do you kind of feel you've been hard done by?
A little bit. And I think part of that is we only get 2 host cities. Yeah. I really thought that at least we would have Montreal or Quebec. Yes. I thought that they would be given a host, or that they'd be allowed to host, but only having two cities in such a massive competition is kind of, it sucks a little bit.
Yeah. Would have been nice to have one extra one. Like we have one other stadium. So there's a city of Edmonton just north of Calgary, about a 3-hour drive.
Right.
The men's national team played there once. It was qualifying for the last World Cup, and they beat Mexico in Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton.
Was this the one where it was really snowy?
It was really snowy. They kind of nicknamed that stadium like the Azteca.
The Azteca.
Kind of after the Azteca from Mexico. And so when the host cities when people were starting to put in bids for host city, Edmonton put their name on that list. And then we were like fingers crossed, like, oh, let's get Edmonton. Come on. It's in the middle.
Yeah. It
would kind of be a bridge between, you got British Columbia and you've got Ontario. Let's get Alberta in the mix too. Just kind of somewhere in the middle. It didn't come to pass, but it would have been nice to have, where that game was played, to have some world stage games, or it would have been real nice, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
but it didn't quite come to be.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure really what the full story was, but yeah, they lost their bid, and then it was just announced that it was Toronto and Vancouver, and it was a little disheartening just to find out that you'd only get 2 cities, and from where we live, either one is kind of far.
Yeah, it would be like a family vacation for us to go to either one of them. So, which we might do, but it's like, it's, hopefully we can, but we'll see.
Well, just to tell listeners what it actually is, it's 10 group games Canada has. Then there's a tie each in the round of 32 for both Vancouver and Toronto. And then Vancouver gets the round of 16 game. That's how it's split there. But with a year to go, what's the general feeling in Canada, or your own feelings? Are you getting excited? And
there's 2 kinds of feelings, because we do. So Canada does have a top flight football league, the Canadian Premier League, and that's what we're wearing right now. So we we talk to the local supporters, so we get that feeling from the local supporters, which everyone's dialed up to 11.
Yeah.
And then just within our own individual friend groups and work, or just people in passing, even just your everyday, and now we're in NHL playoffs, they break away for commercials to advertise for the World Cup.
Really? Okay. So it's being advertised.
There's I think people are on both sides, whether it's your casual fan. I think everyone's getting pretty excited, and then everyone knows, like, Alphonso Davies is part of, like, he's like the sports. He's I guess he's to, and I dare to say it, but he's to soccer, or to like football in our country, as what Wayne Gretzky did for hockey in the States.
Right. Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. I don't know. I think you could probably add to that as well.
Yeah, even I work with a lot of people who they either straight up don't like soccer or football, or they haven't had too much exposure of it, other than like, wait, isn't it that sport where people kind of roll around and nothing happened and nobody touched them from a mile away? I'm like, I don't know, it's different than that. It's good. What I will say for Canadians, we love to quietly present ourselves and be like, we're Canada. We want to show you how cool we are. And we love to party. When there's a party going on, Canadians will get involved. So because we're a year away, I think Vancouver and Toronto are doing some sort of celebrations around, like, hey, we're a year away. Let's have a year away party. I know Toronto has one coming up in the next couple weeks or so. So I think it's like a world festival. So there'll be like food from different countries and be a celebration of diversity of the beautiful game of footy. Yeah. And I think once the time comes, Canadians, that's when it'll be like, oh, there's a party going on. We like to party. World Cup's here. Okay, let's go.
You have the casuals getting excited, and then you have people like us that are just, if there's a number, if Spinal Tap can have past 11, we're at a 13 or a 20.
Yeah. And we're stoking that fire too, of letting people know, like, hey, World Cup is coming, guys. Don't forget. Like,
yeah, too. I mean, you say about having parties in both those host cities. Perhaps you guys should have start your own party in Calgary there. Get a year to go in Calgary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like we go to all the home games of our local team here, and we kind of turn every one of those games is kind of a party. But yeah, people are always looking for an excuse to be like, oh, let's go get together at a pub and have a couple pints and share stories and get excited for World Cup. Like that's an easy thing to convince people of.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned like domestic football there, and you mentioned like the Canadian League. I've got to be honest, I know of the Mexican top flight league. The MLS has obviously, like, they've brought in so many players over the past however many years to hype that league. And I'm ashamed to say I don't know a great deal about the Canadian domestic league. I know internationally, obviously, you made it to Qatar recently, and we'll come to international in a moment. But just Tell us a little bit about domestic football there.
It's still pretty grassroots. Or actually, you know what? Maybe not. We're above grassroots. Last weekend after the match, we were talking to an Englishman actually who had just recently moved here. He's from Liverpool.
Yep.
But he on the other side of Merseyside, so he's a Toffee. He cheers for he's Everton.
Everton.
And we were just chatting with him, asking him, like, you come from the land of footy. Where would you personally rank our play? And he puts us at a League One.
Okay, yeah.
For quality of play. He puts us at a League One, which I think is pretty.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good for a league that's only been around for 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we started in 2019, and currently we have 8 teams, which span from there's 2 in British Columbia, 1 in Alberta with Calgary. There's 1 in Winnipeg and Manitoba, and then there's 3?
There's 3 in Ontario.
3 in Ontario, and then 1 in Halifax. So we got 8 teams in the league, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to 10 next year. And there's also this is the first year, 2025 marks the year 1 of the Northern Super League. It's the Top Flight Women's League. And there's 6 teams?
6 teams in that.
6 teams in that league. Calgary again is represented. So football is starting to, there's places for local boys and girls to play. Like there are kids growing up in the youth systems in various schools and after school teams that they're going to grow up where they can always, there's a place for them to go, both in the Northern Super League for the women's and the Canadian Premier League for the men. So, which is wonderful.
Yeah. And for you guys to make it to the World Cup in Qatar, obviously that must have been big and
that was huge.
Yeah. Set sights for those young boys and girls who are wanting to play the game, and they can like see the sights of what they can achieve.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. They can see a pathway of, I can get there. There's 2 professional leagues now, and then God willing, in maybe another decade or so, we'll get into like promotion and relegation of some lower leagues, but they can see these national teams play and they're like, I can get there. And I can see the path that I can go, which is...
Well, even with MLS, with the success of MLS, there was a stat a couple of years ago, and it was something like North America as a whole, so US, the United States, and Canada, there was something like it was around 3 million more kids are playing soccer than any other sport.
Really?
Yeah. And if you look at some MLS games, like they have soccer-specific stadiums now. They're drawing in huge crowds, and then that's kind of spilled over to Canada. We're getting our infrastructure there. We do have some CFL stadiums that some local domestic teams are using, and then we in Calgary here we have a soccer-specific stadium that we've been using, and you can just see it that there's going to be a point, and I think we're on a teeter-totter right now. And I think once we edge closer to the World Cup, it's going to explode, and it's just going to be pandemonium.
Yeah.
It's going to be giving hockey a run for its money, will it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We hope so.
Yeah, hockey's expensive to get into. Soccer, your football, you just need you need shoes, a ball, and a wall to kick it against. That's it.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. One thing I've spoken with a Mexican contributor to the show that he said about tickets for the World Cup, he's having to go through like hospitality and all that sort of thing. And he said it was very expensive for what he wants to see, for the games there. And he say that obviously just there that it's ever so cheap for people to get involved in football. But for the World Cup, what have you heard on that front ticket wise? We actually were checking last night.
We were trying to find them.
You have to sign up. I think you have to. One way is you got to sign up through FIFA for notifications when tickets go on sale.
Yeah.
And I think StubHub. We saw StubHub is already releasing tickets for like $2,000.
$1,000. Yeah. I stopped scrolling through it when the number was saying for 2 tickets. Like
I don't think they've officially gone on sale yet. And
not officially.
The official I don't know what you call it. The official ticket broker or ticket site is Ticketmaster.
Yep.
I don't think
they've really. I can't find it where like there's nothing officially on sale yet.
Yeah, it's you can put your name on a list. That's kind of where we're at for tickets right now. But for anybody here, there's the men's national team supporter group, and I guess the women's national team supporter group in Canada. They're
Canada Soccer as a whole.
Canada Soccer as a whole. They're the Voyagers.
Okay.
And they've got Facebook pages and Instagrams, and
they have a website.
They got a website, all that stuff. So they would be a great resource if anybody's like they've got ears to the ground of going like, this is when tickets are going on sale. But as of right now, it's just kind of put your name on a list, and hopefully they go on sale soon, and they're not going to sell out in 2 minutes. But
yeah. I mean, the chances of England, I guess, and I always say this, if we qualify, that come to the World Cup, I mean, the chances of coming to Canada are probably slim, with the greatest of respect, just because of the two stadiums and the amount of games that you have.
Mm-hmm.
But for anyone coming to Canada, they're obviously going to be looking at either Vancouver or Toronto. And I appreciate that you're a little distance away from both, but what can you tell us about either that you know?
Well, I would say like Vancouver, just me personally, it's a very beautiful city.
I'd say they're the nicest of the two.
Yeah, they're
okay.
I think between the two, Vancouver is the mountains are not too far away, so you kind of get like very on the one side you got picturesque forest mountain views almost, and then on the other side you've got the ocean. So it's
where BC Place sits, you can the ocean is not too far away just from where it is in the downtown, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah. Toronto is it's a nice city, very big, and it's kind of like it's Canada's biggest city.
It's Canada's New York.
Yeah, essentially.
Yep.
So it's definitely a city, but it's, for the little bit that I've been there, I thought it was very nice. It looked very cool. So they got some nice architecture.
I guess and this is no disrespect to Toronto, but for any of your listeners that watch Batman, Toronto is Gotham City.
Right. Okay.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, just in looks, it's very safe. It's Canada. We're safe. We're not.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Obviously, with Mexico and the States, you hear of issues. I don't want to go into too much, but you say that Canada is safe, and so people coming can expect a safe experience.
100%.
I think so. And like anything, like when you get people cheering on their countries, and once you get a few wobbly pops in you, it'll be the typical. You'll get some rushiousness going on, but I don't think it'll be anything too bad. I guess I can say what I'm hoping for. This will cause, FIFA might have to do some. I mean, they're not known for being the most ethical group, but maybe Canada, US, and Mexico get drawn in the same group. And just
funny.
With everything going on right now, I think that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. But if there's one thing that Canada likes to do is we love to host, and we love to welcome in people, be like, come to Canada, hang out for a bit. So it's the events themselves, there'll definitely be a lot of high fives, a lot of hugs, and a lot of you cheer for that country, that's rad, and you're having fun, that's cool. So you like beer? I like beer. Yeah, I think we're friends now.
We're best friends, and it'll just be, or you're wearing that shirt. I like that country. Here, there's a pub that we can go to. Go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say let's stay on the beer and the wobbly pops, because because when you've made me realise when I came to Toronto, is it a Steam Whistle Brewery in the centre of
yes. Yeah,
and that I remember being a nice drop. Go on, tell us if we're coming over, what can we eat and drink? What's Canada known for?
Anywhere, if you can find any sort of pre-match pub somewhere, because you're in Canada, you have to get poutine.
Yeah.
That's
a rule. Yeah, you have to get it.
You have to get poutine. If some place has a beaver tail, you got to eat a beaver tail, which is like a waffly
It's not made out of real beer.
Yeah, it's not an actual.
Thank you.
It's like a waffle pancake thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good, but
Very sweet, really good. For beer, actually, it's funny. We were talking about that last night, getting ready for this. Actually, Toronto for sure. Steam whistle. Whether that would be available at the stadium,
This is the
Not
thing,
too
isn't it?
sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
not
And
too sure.
For Vancouver, again, it might not be available at like game day at the match, but there is a good brewery there called Parallel 49. Very good beer. Every beer off their menu is good. They've got IPA, they've got stouts, they've got some lagers. It's very good beer. They're my favorite Vancouver-based brewery, Parallel 49.
Let's just go back. Some listeners may not know. I know because I've had it, but tell us what poutine is.
Oh, it's delicious. It's French fries, and then you've got cheese curds, and then you've got gravy. Now, the cheese curd, it's a light cheese, and it's crumbly. So it's like if mozzarella was
Like
to
cottage
look
cheese. It's a non-wet cottage cheese.
kinda. It's like if mozzarella cheese had the consistency of feta cheese.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice light cheese. It melts easy, and then you put gravy on that, which melts your cheese curd. It's delicious. People get fancy and they might put some pulled pork on there, put some ground beef in there. But it's deliciousness in a bowl. That's what poutine is.
That's exactly what I remember it being. Yeah.
It's like it's definitely a comfort food, and it definitely pairs well with a nice beer. Like it's nice. Have a napkin. It's a little messy, but you'll be all right. It's delicious.
Gotcha.
And we're actually really good, Canada's also really good because we're such a diverse, multicultural country, a lot of places try to incorporate some comfort food from other people's countries. So we have an English pub here in Calgary that does bangers and mash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So really,
World food is kind of, when people ask, aside from poutine and maybe some strong beer, because that's another thing. Our beer is brewed a little bit stronger. We kind of pull our influence from everywhere as far as like what we like to make as far as food goes. So a lot of I'd say a lot of European food is definitely kind of been infused to our main food, like German and Polish.
Yeah.
and I think maybe I could be wrong, but I think more so in Vancouver, if you like barbecue, they have probably a few more barbecue than Toronto has.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's sort of take a look at the stadiums in each. I've had a quick look at like the pictures of them, and it kind of looks like the Vancouver ground is I think it's the bigger of the two,
Yes.
and it appears to have some sort of not sort of a retractable roof as such that England fans will maybe remember the ground in Frankfurt last year where we played Denmark in the Euros, where it had like some sort of canopy over the top of it. Is that right?
Kind of, yeah. It's like a see-through, because they redid that roof.
That was a few years.
A few years ago, and it does have that retractable kind of feeling and look to it.
Yeah.
It definitely lets in a lot of natural light, and it's significantly, or maybe not, significantly bigger than BMO Field, which is Toronto's.
And that's more out in the open, isn't it? Sort of open to the elements.
That's an outdoor stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they have a roof on that one.
Nope.
Yeah.
And are
And
they
that's
both sort of central to each city? Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So BC Place for Vancouver, that's right in the heart of downtown, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the same for BMO Field as well. Like
BMO is a little bit out.
a little on the outskirts of downtown, but definitely both have all the downtown amenities. I hope I got that word right. But like,
Amenities.
amenities, food, beer, hotels, all that stuff. All of that stuff is all around both of those stadiums. So
Yeah. And yeah, again, you brought me on to sort of like accommodation and mentioning hotels there. I mean, is there already talk of sort of like availability for people coming? Do you know?
not sure what each city is doing for the hotels, but definitely I'd say if anybody was interested in coming, and I think people are more than welcome to start. If they know when they're coming, maybe start booking now. And
like there's a little bit of booking going on right now from the information that I found. And I'd actually say from if people know that they want to come to Canada, I would say start booking between like now and the 6-month mark, because the closer we get to it, it will start to pack up fast.
Yeah.
From what I know of Toronto and Vancouver, I would say Vancouver might pack up quicker.
Okay.
Because of where the stadium is. It's more downtown centralized. So I think though that one would start to fill up a little bit more. For BMO Field in Toronto, it's a little bit out of downtown. So you're a little bit away from the hotels. So you might need some sort of either car, or I would imagine hotels for the World Cup are going to have buses going to and from stadiums.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
And then of course there's like all the rideshare stuff, like, Uber and taxis and all that stuff. So
Readily available, is it?
yeah.
I think if I was to go to one of them, I would probably go to Vancouver, because you could stay closer and you could probably just, if you left early enough, you could
Probably
walk.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking now a year ahead, so I'm guessing the weather will be pretty much the same. I've watched, I've experienced Canada in just that small part. I'm trying to think what time of year I went. It may well have been this time of year. Does the weather change across the country? What can we expect?
Yeah.
Vancouver they might be a little bit more unpredictable, because they've got the
ocean,
they've got the mountain ranges there, and they've got the ocean there, so it'd be drier for sure.
Yeah.
And then Toronto is more, if people have ever either been to
DC,
Baltimore, DC, and then there's another place that I'm missing.
That's not like East Coast.
Yeah, they're a little bit more humid.
Yes, it could be a little bit sticky,
hot and muggy in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this time of year, it's like, I mean, currently right now, like, I mean, we have a 25 degrees Celsius day right now. So, and it might even get hotter. So, we're getting summertime temperatures right now.
Or it could snow. We're in Calgary.
Or it could snow, yeah. But it shouldn't, but it has.
Gotcha. Nice one.
But the weather should be good on both, and
deep enough into summer that it should be summertime. Maybe bring a pair of pants just in case. But
I guess I know I'm partial to Vancouver. Go to Vancouver, because make a huge vacation out of it, because again, the mountains are right there, and you can easily explore the mountainside after the games. Go across BC, and it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Or if city slicking is your thing, then that's where you'd go to Toronto, because they're close to, Toronto's close to Baltimore, they're close to DC. Detroit is right there too.
And then there's other Canadian cities, Ottawa, Hamilton, they're all there. Ottawa being the nation's capital. So I'd say if you're in Toronto, go to Ottawa. It's right there.
So much to do. Do you know what? You say Vancouver, and I've just got this idea of everywhere you go, there's Bryan Adams being pumped out from every stereo. This is this English sort of vision I have.
100%.
We like Bryan Adams.
No, don't get me wrong. He's cool. I don't mind a bit of Bryan Adams. But you mentioned like Toronto, the other side, and being close to the American border. Obviously, America at the moment. Is there going to be issues with America, like as it gets closer? I don't know, just with whatever's going on.
I hope not. But tensions are a bit,
maybe
a bit high.
For people like trying to like drive across the border, or just in terms of like the political landscape kind of boiling over, and maybe fans kind of getting into it.
Oh, just a bit of both, really. I'm hoping it's going to be all sound and good, but yeah,
I mean, honestly, one of the best rivalries is Canada and the US.
Well, that was even before all this
especially
stuff
for sports. Like we love to
beat them.
Once Canada is like, once there's any kind of Team Canada anything, and then the Team USA gets involved, it's
always
I think it'll be spicy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because didn't you beat them recently in there was a game, was it a Nations League game did you play, or of sorts, where you played America?
Yeah, we beat them at SoFi in LA.
Gone down really well, that one then.
Yeah.
But like, politically tensions are high. So and I think that's maybe a bit of an understatement, but I don't like
I hope not. I hope
it calms down. I don't think it shouldn't deter anybody from going between the two nations. And even for Canadians, I would say I don't think we should fear going into the States or anything, but and I don't think it'll impact any of your individual safety of going to any of these games in either country. But I think what it could do is just add a little bit of backdrop to these games, where if Canada does get to play the US, like that game is like, it's going to be a spicy game.
Is it easy for, I mean, who knows what it's going to be like in a year's time, where they may relax some rules. I don't know. But is it easy on the whole to get between Canada and the States?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Like, we've never had any issues, and we've both driven and flown.
Yeah. We were just in the States last year, so I mean, it was no problem. But right now, I think if you're driving, it's okay. As if you just don't bring beer with you, just buy it there. But I think really, I think going between the two countries, whether you're driving or flying, I think as long as whatever questions you're being asked and you're just prepared to answer them quickly, efficiently, and you've got all your if you've got your stuff with you and you can instantly show, people should be fine.
That's the main thing. Have all of your travel stuff.
Just have it with you.
Everything. If they're asking you, oh, why are you coming into the States? Oh, I'm going to a World Cup game.
Yeah.
Present that ticket.
Here's my ticket.
Like, do everything you can do to make it easier on yourself. I think it'll be easier than Mexico going into the States.
I see. Yeah. I think the main thing is just be prepared, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Give yourself lots of time.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's go back to the football. The national team. How well can they do in the World Cup next year?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think they could do as well as anyone. I think. I mean, I would imagine the odds are probably against us a little bit, because
I'd like to see them get past the group stage. It just depends upon the group, really.
That's my goal. Get past the group stage.
Yeah, and if Canada does go out in the group stage, I would maybe just win one of those games. I think would be nice. That's my own anything above that is like, they've overexceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep them, realistic. At the moment, I think they have a good a shot as any to.
We have a seasoned squad, and we're bringing in some younger guys too.
Yeah.
So and having that local domestic league has actually helped kind of feed the national team a little bit, because there are a couple players that have gone through the domestic league that are now making appearances on the national team.
Yeah.
And then it helps that, we've got Jonathan David, who routinely tears it up in Europe in with Lille, and then Alphonso Davies in Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some veterans too. So I think overall we've got and then it helps that with the last World Cup, I think a lot of those guys are still on the team.
I think so.
Yeah.
So they've got the itch
they want to do more.
Want to kind of put Qatar sort of behind them and take that experience from Qatar. Because, I mean, not to rub it in, but for those that maybe don't know, Qatar was, as we mentioned earlier, was the first World Cup Canada no, it's the second World Cup, wasn't it? Because you were in 86, I think, weren't you?
Yeah, it was in the 80s, the last time.
Yeah.
84, 86.
Yeah, but the last World Cup didn't win a game. So yeah, to win a game and maybe just get out of that group, I think is, as you say, would be a great achievement.
If they did both of those things, like win a game and maybe win enough to make it out of that group, I'd say, look, mission accomplished, Canada. You did it. Like, and at that point, go as far as you can. Then at that point, like, you're just playing for bonus points at that point. But yeah, just
It helps that we have home field advantage.
True.
So that when you have your home crowd behind you, that does help a lot.
I mean, there'll be a lot of Canadians in those games, so should be a sea of red. So, which will be nice.
Yeah.
Nice to see.
And you say about those domestic players coming through to the national team. That must be the topic of the 90-minute life.
Kind of, yeah. We do touch into national team as something happens that we want to talk about, and then, but in our Canadian Premier League, in our city of Calgary, the Cavalry FC is our team represented in the Canadian Premier League, and so most of our podcast is about that team. And actually, we have a former player from Cavalry on the men's national team roster right now with Dominic Zator,
and Joel Waterman. Both players played for Cavalry FC in the past, and it's nice to see them on the national stage.
Absolutely.
And, Joel Waterman plays in MLS now for CF Montreal. So yeah, it's good to see.
Always good when you see one of your own sort of making those steps to the bigger stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's great.
It kind of makes your heart smile. You're like, I remember seeing them. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Know the feeling. So where can we find the 90-minute life podcast?
We're on everywhere where you listen to podcasts. Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon.
And then we do have 2 social media channels. We have a Facebook page, 90 Minute Life. Same name for Instagram. And I have a little bit of gray in my beard, so we're not as we try to use them as much as we can.
We just got that Instagram page when you messaged us. And you're our first follower.
Oh, well, there you go.
yeah. And we had just come from a game, and we were having dinner at a pub, and we're like, look at this! Oh wow!
Well, I saw 3. I'm like, 3 lines. England? Like that's an England reference, and I'm like, holy cow, this guy's in England.
It's like, wow.
The world's a small place now, isn't it?
Yeah,
totally.
And it kind of brings us back to the World Cup next year, where this world we can all hopefully come and enjoy Canada, whoever's drawn there.
Yeah, like Canada's just excited. Overall, we're to be able to host a World Cup with the United States and Mexico, like just to be kind of in that conversation is like, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, should England get drawn in Canada, it'd be great to hook up again nearer the time and maybe pick your brains a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Once national teams get sorted out and, we can talk about the squad and just the overall everything.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
Excellent. Exciting times. Listen, Paul, Josh, thank you very much for taking the time to chat to me. It's been really appreciated.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much to Paul and Josh there for giving us the feeling from Canada. Really appreciated. Go tune in to the 90 Minute Life podcast. Go find their Insta page, give that a follow. Likewise, the Facebook page. It sounds like they're really spreading the word over there. Wish them well. Don't forget, you can also follow the Three Lions podcast on all the socials. Just give it a search, a follow, a like, a thumbs up. Any of that is really appreciated. So as I said, this has been part 2 of this Year to Go series. The final part 3, will be with you tomorrow, where we're heading to the land of the free, the land of opportunity. Yes, the United States of America. I hope you can join me for that one. Hit the subscribe button and you'll not miss it. So until then, take care of yourselves. Cheers.